Engineering Update. I'm Casey Panetta, Managing Editor of ECN. In this week's episode, a $52 million car, a high-tech baby monitor, and a final salute to the ISEE 3. You might ask yourself, as I often do, what makes a car worth $52 million? Is it invisible? Is it made of solid gold? Does it come with a mansion on the beach and an in-car butler? Unfortunately, the car in question offers none of those things, but it is pretty cool. The 1962 Ferrari GTO went up at auction earlier this week. It's a race car with quite a history of kicking ass and taking names. Only 39 were ever made, and for years, the Ferrari GTO was the first choice of drivers in the racing circuits, even winning the 1964 Tour de France road race before fading into history due to new racing regulations. What makes it a great car? Well, it weighs in at 1,980 pounds and has a 300 horsepower V8 engine. It gets its sleek shape from placing aluminum over a wood frame and hammering it by hand into shape. Probably why there were only 39 made. This particular one, all of them were a little unique due to the way they were made, was driven by French racing driver Joe Schlescher, who took second place in the Tour de France that year, and sold to Ernest Pruneuf, an Italian race car driver, before Fabrizio Violati, a millionaire who made his money in mineral water, purchased the car in 1965. It has stayed with his family since. If the car goes for the estimated $52 million, it will blow the current record for most expensive car ever sold at auction, a measly $33 million, out of the water.
A company called Spratling has tailored wearable technology for its most logical and, most importantly, captive audience, babies. Oh, now who wouldn't spend hundreds of dollars after watching that? The company has produced what it deems the world's most sophisticated baby monitor. Now, given that the target audience hasn't mastered the art of speech or bowel control, this piece of wearable technology is more for the parent's benefit than the child's. The Spratling baby monitor includes a wearable ankle band sensor for the baby, a wireless charging station for the band, and a smartphone app. For the parent, naturally. According to the company, the band is soft, breathable, and hypoallergenic, and the whole system provides a host of readings and measurements. The band measures the baby's heart rate, skin temperature, and sleep patterns, and the parent receives real-time notifications via the app. As an added bonus, the charging station monitors the room temperature, humidity, sound, and the light of the Tike's room. Now, somebody might ask, couldn't many of these functions be performed by an attentive parent? Well, you clearly aren't enamored by enough cute baby videos or the desire to drop $249 on this bad boy. And to be fair, no parent can watch their baby 24/7. Though, to be frank, a parent that can't tell when their baby wakes up probably shouldn't have one.
A 36-year saga came to an end this week with the ISEE 3's Lunar Flyby before the craft heads back out into space. As we previously reported on the Engineering Update, the probe was originally launched in 1978 as a way to study the Earth's magnetosphere, and then given a second mission in the 1980s of studying comets. It was officially abandoned in 1997. However, earlier this year, a group petitioned for and was granted permission to revitalize the old craft to have it fly even closer, about 31 miles, from the moon, which would allow it to be used to study even more comets. Despite NASA authorizing the takeover and raising $159,000, the group found that even after a successful firing the thrusters, the probe lacked the necessary nitrogen for the propulsion system. So instead of flying within 31 miles of the moon, the craft flew within 9,700 miles before heading back into deep space, where it will orbit the sun and reappear near Earth in about 17 years. But it wasn't all a waste. The ISEE 3 Reboot team recently announced that all of the data the craft transmits during the next leg of its life will be made available to the public. With 5 of the onboard experiments still operating, this includes information about magnetic fields, solar winds, and cosmic radiation, which would be available as long as the probe is within radio range. That's all for this week's episode. Be sure to check in on Facebook and Twitter and view previous episodes at ecnmag.com. For the ECN channel, I'm Casey Panetta, and this has been your Engineering Update.